Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to episode 65 of the First and 10 NFL New York Jets podcast. We have a very special guest this morning, Mr. Greenbean himself.
Yeah, what's happening? I'm glad to be here with you guys on a Saturday morning.
Thank you
Happy
for
to have
hopping
you,
on
man.
with us.
Happy to have you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
We ready to talk some Jets football.
let's do this. Greenbean, let's get right into it. I want your thoughts, and I've heard them before, but I want to see if things have changed. Tell us what your take is on Mekhi Becton. Worried, not worried? Will he be here? What's the story?
Yeah.
What's your take?
My take is if the beat, this is my honest take. All right, well, let me start like this. My honest take is I like to give draft classes 3 years. I learned that a long time ago. I don't get too huffy puffy one way or the other. I'm not calling somebody, all pro after one good year. I'm not calling somebody a bust. Yeah, I just don't do that, man.
Okay.
Like, now I've seen many players take 2 or 3 years to get in. So that's that.
Okay.
Now, I think that if this was, let's say, 10 years ago, and the beat wasn't so aggressively social media based, I don't think we would even have these concerns. Like, for example, there's a guy that I'm kind of on Twitter arguing with a little bit right now, from one of our beat guys. And
I know who he is. I know who you mean.
Yeah. So he put out a tweet not too long ago. He said there's no reason for Mekhi Becton not to be at OTAs, nor voluntary. No reason.
Okay.
So, and then we found out days later, no, actually he had numerous reasons. Number one, his wife was given birth too. So they all gave Connor McGovern a pass, and on and on. So, but the problem with that is that the fan base's opinion was already crafted. By the time we found out there were reasons, everybody was already pissed off.
Okay.
So I think without that, it wouldn't be as fervent as it is right now, as far as our concern or even our disgust. You have Jets fans that are absolutely disgusted. Now, me, I'm not worried in the slightest. You want to know why? Because the Jets didn't use a first, second, or third round pick on a tackle. They didn't go out there and frantically sign tackles. We brought in a pipeline guy, Max Mitchell, who I like a whole bunch, but it doesn't seem like they're overly concerned with their tackle situation. And neither am I. That's how I look at it. I'm like, Mekhi Becton was slam dunk his rookie year. He got hurt. You know what I mean? So am I concerned? Sure. I'm concerned. I mean, shit, we've been the most injured team in the NFL for 5 years. So I'm definitely concerned.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, I think Mekhi Becton, if he plays at 380, he plays at 380. What do I give a shit?
Now, according to Graziano on Greeny's show, Greenberg, according to him, there was frustration among the coaching staff with Becton that they'd like to see him down, not way so damn much. And also they were kind of worried last season, kind of pissed off in the preseason before Carl Lawson got hurt, that he was getting smoked every play by Lawson. Well, that's what I think. So
yeah, but again, this is the issue I have. Like, whenever they talked about Mekhi Becton, now again, and I'm not, if it turns out Mekhi Becton's 400 pounds and the coaches are upset, then the coaches are upset and he's 400 pounds. I mean, I'm not here to try to say something that isn't happening. At the same time, we never see proof of this stuff. Every time that there's a Mekhi Becton's 400 pounds, we see him working out, we see this and that, and he doesn't look 400 pounds. Now, when they said last year Carl Lawson was smoking Mekhi Becton, that was just the one we were talking about. Meanwhile, Nathan Shepard was smoking Connor McGovern. AVT was getting rolled. The entire offensive line sucked for the first 6 games of the season, man. Why can't why can't Mekhi Becton slide into that? Yep. Mekhi Becton sucks.
Right.
See what I mean? So that's, again, I'm not saying he's going to be great. I'm just saying I am of the standpoint of I'm cool with it. I'm going to watch him. I'm going to see him play, and I'm going to see what I say, see what happens, and hopefully he sticks. You know what I mean?
So Green Bean, here's my take on it. And I know if you watch like the last 3 episodes of our show, it sounds like I'm a Mekhi hater. I'm not. I love the kid. My worry for the kid is that he's young and he didn't bounce back as quick. Like and listen, maybe not to that extent, but when we were younger, I felt like, yeah, we were injured, but 3 days later, you know what I'm trying to say? We were up and ready.
Yeah.
This injury is taking a little longer, which leads me to believe he's carrying a little more weight than the body could handle. And he plays such an impactful position, knees, upper body. I would love to see the kid at 350, 355. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I'm a little worried at 380, big guy. I really am.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, who am I to say that you shouldn't be worried with that? You know what I mean? But here's another take. Let me just give you this. So when Mekhi Becton got hurt that day, I was live streaming for Jet Nation. I'm sure we were all watching the game. When he got carted off or walked off the field, he was crying, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Our overarching thought was this guy's gone for the year. There's no way he's coming.
True.
Yep. Now, 2 days later, they said, it's a 4 to 8 week injury or whatever they said. We went, really?
Okay.
Well, that's good news. So to me, it seems like maybe the blame could be directed at our brand new rookie medical staff who just got there. That was their first season as a football medical staff. So maybe if they would have just said, this is going to be hope. We have hope we can get him back for week 14, but it might be season ending. Maybe if they did that, none of this has ever happened. Like maybe that's the issue. Now, again, I'm not saying you shouldn't be concerned. Look, I'll be real honest too. My first thought when I saw the pictures of him at mandatory this year, I thought he don't look thin. He looks fat to me. You know what I mean? So
that's what we said to each other. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm not going to try to tell you that your eyes need to get fucking fixed. Like I said, I saw the same thing you saw. But again, it's like we hear rumblings that the Jets are frustrated, but we also know that the Jets are super crazy tight-lipped. They don't say shit to anybody. Nobody gets anything right with the Jets. So how much stock do I put in these guys who say, I don't know, man. The Jets are going to cut them. The Jets are going to cut them, like Boomer said. What do you mean they're going to cut them? Do you realize the salary cap ramifications if they do that?
The last thing they're going to do is cut them.
First off, First though, Green Bean, whatever Boomer Esiason says, I throw out the window. I never like any of his takes. I know he played for us and he's a Long Island guy, but he always comes off as a hater against this team, in my opinion. The only thing I worried about, the only thing I'll say about our coaching staff with Becton, you're right, they're tight-lipped, but they said nothing, you know. Is he close to weight? Is he far from making weight? They really keep us in the dark on the Becton situation. And that has me a little concerned more than maybe the average Jet fan, but that could just be my take on it.
Well, yeah, the one article I saw where they talked up Zach and everything, but they were tight-lipped on Becton.
Yeah. Hey, I hear you. You know what I mean? It's like, so no news is bad news. That's the side we're taking.
Right.
It's like,
I guess.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. Look, I hear you though, because they raved about Zach's new puffy chest and gorgeous thighs.
Yeah.
Right? And they talked about Mims being up to weight there, because last year, you know, but listen, you know, that's the whole thing. It's like, do they have some frustration? Maybe not even frustration. Maybe they're just not happy with it. They do want him to be down to 360, 350. Maybe they do. So why throw stones, you know? But I don't know, to the degree that they would be upset, that's hard for me to say. Like, I just don't jump to that conclusion. I'm not saying I'm right. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm right, but I just tend to, again, 3 years. That's what I do. And especially when they came out and played so great in year one, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Parcells too always said 3 years.
Yeah. And don't get us wrong. We agree with everything you're saying. I'm just saying, as health concerns go for a young man, when your body doesn't seem to be handling, and there's a lot of money on the line for this young man. You would think his head frame would be in saying, I need to lose this weight. I need to get what this team wants and show them I'm the real deal, so that in 5 years, I could sign that big money deal. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you want him to
Agree.
be, know? And that's
Hey,
my
man.
worry. That's my worry, which leads to my second question, because they both came out of the same draft. And I know you're pressed for time. Mims, here or gone? What's your take on Mims? Does he make this team?
Yeah, I think he makes the team. I think he'll start out. I think best case scenario with Mims is that he's wide receiver 5. There's all this bullshit.
I was gonna
about
say,
Jet
yeah,
Smith.
5. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's wide receiver 5. He gets in, he plays the running downs like he did last year. Mims is an exceptional blocker. Like, here's the thing. Let me tell you guys something. Mims played 279 offensive plays last year. People don't know that. He had 5 penalties and 2 drops in 279 plays. So it's not as sky is falling as people like to think it is. Now, some of the drops and some of the mistakes were glaring, bad timing, and all those kinds of things. So I understand why people are concerned, but Mims is a rare talent. He's rare. He's 6'3" and change. He's 4'3".
Prototypical, man. Prototypical.
Yeah, prototypical. So you don't throw those things away for a 5th round pick because now if this coaching staff can't figure out a way to use a guy who I'm going to tell you this. I studied Mims. He was one of the guys that I liked most in the 2020 draft. And I watched every single college play of Denzel Mims. I saw college interviews, on and on and on. The guy never had the knock of being lazy. He never had the knock of being cavalier or disconnected or any of those things. He has a great reputation. Now, the only thing that I think could be construed as a negative is that he's kind of introvert. He's not a very outgoing personality.
Right.
Okay. So people could interpret that as kind of somebody not caring. You got Elijah Moore over here, doing Michael Carter, AVT running around, and then you got Denzel Mims just sitting there. So I do understand it, but our coaching staff, the job of a coaching staff is to figure out how your players learn and teach them that way. That's their fucking job. Okay.
Mims's demeanor is that of a cotchery to me.
Right. Like, look, and it's not to necessarily compare Mims to Koch yet, right? But I know exactly what you mean. And so I think Mims will be wide receiver 5. They'll use him on running plays. He'll get like 35 receptions this year. 350, 400 yards kind of a thing. And it'll give them the idea that he's ready for the increased role. Maybe they look for him to replace Corey Davis the following year, something along those lines. But I think this is an audition year for Mims. Dude, the guy had food poisoning and COVID last year. Like, why don't we include all that shit when we're talking about this guy?
And that leads me to, we'll entwine the 2 players now. It seems like we're willing to let Becton slide on a lot of things, but yet we want to run Mims out of town, and I don't get it. I'm not understanding why. And I understand Becton played out of his skull season 1, but these are 2 young kids. We've always said we wanted to build the nucleus, and there's 2 main players to build the nucleus, and one we're looking to run out of town. I keep hearing things. Well, if Mims has a good preseason, look to trade him. If he has a good preseason, why
would you want to trade?
Do you agree or disagree?
I'm telling you, I disagree wholeheartedly, man. Like, look, I now listen. Clearly, I'm an old fella, right? I'm definitely not 22 years old, right? I'm not
same with us.
So I come from an I come from an era where guys played on the Jets for 12 years, for 10 years, for 15 years. You know, so now that's not the NFL anymore, and I understand that, but to the degree that we want to jettison people, like Jets fans are upset that we're never good, but they want to fucking fire the coach every single season. They wanted anybody who has a good moment, they want to trade them for draft capital. It's like, well, when do we give these guys the opportunity to develop? That's a key component to an NFL team. You have to develop guys. And if you can't develop guys, then this organization sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, because like you look at the organizations, like it's a great example is the Steelers. The
Yeah.
Steelers lose defensive ends, linebackers, wide receivers
Doesn't matter.
every year, and the guy replacing them,
Yep.
it doesn't matter because the
Yep.
guy replacing him is ready to go. He's sometimes even better than the guy who left, and it's an amazing thing. So we have to get to that point. Our coaching staff has to be willing to give players 3-4 years to kind of become what they want them to become. And again, when you have a guy with such rare attributes as Denzel Mims, in my opinion, you should be giving him even a little bit more rope than maybe a guy who's 5'11",
Well, yeah.
a $180.
Thank you.
You know?
I don't understand their reluctance to let him see the field more. I don't understand.
Well, last year we have to remember that like those last 3 games where Tariq Black was playing and DJ Montgomery and all those guys. The problem is that we forget that Mims had COVID. Like, so they're seeing it. He lost the 20 pounds. He comes in, he plays okay. Then he has a bad game. And they're putting him in and he's lost. He's just like his head. He's not there
right.
because he's fucking sick. So they don't play him. Like, I don't know. Like, I see the point people are making. Like, when DJ Montgomery's starting over a healthy Mims, there's a problem. Yeah. I get it. At the same time, if the guy's sick and he's working at 60%, we don't know that. But the coaching staff does. They say, dude, just fucking sit down. You know, I'm not gonna put a guy who has the flu out. You know what I mean?
So you don't buy any of the nonsense that, and we hear it time and time. It's not just from our organizations, but other organizations. This coaching staff didn't pick him. They had no. They weren't here when these players were picked, so they don't give a rat's you know what about him. Do you get the feeling that this coaching staff doesn't care about Mims because they weren't here when he was drafted, or they're not really keen on Becton because they weren't here when they drafted him, or you don't buy any of that nonsense that, Football Nation puts out there? He's not one of our guys. We didn't draft him. Do you buy any of that?
Well, I think it happens more than it should, right? I mean, like guys, coaching staffs come in and they gut it, right? It's not my guys. So and I think that definitely happens. And I think Mims might fall into that category because he's not the prototypical wide receiver for their offense. Like they like precision route running, all those kinds. Yeah. So he maybe doesn't fall into that category for them so easy. So he might have a little bit of a tougher road. But here's the thing: if Mike LaFleur and Robert Saleh can't figure out how to, even though he's not prototypical for your offense, if you can't figure out how to use a fucking 6,
get him involved,
4-3, then something's wrong with you.
You're in the wrong business.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, look, the truth is though, is they were rookies last year. So they're probably trying tactics that they've seen work before. They're being tough love or whatever it might be. Okay. And they're learning. They're learning on the job. So that's the thing. And in the same way that I want to give Mims time to overcome, losing 20 pounds because of food poisoning and new playbook and COVID and all this sort of stuff, I'm going to give Robert Saleh and Mike LaFleur time to figure out how to reach these guys. So that's the thing. Like the Jets, the Jets hire rookies. That's what we do as far as GMs and coaches. We've only had 3 former coaches ever. You know what I mean? So it's like we're always hiring. But then the fan base, we hire rookies, never done. And then one year he doesn't fall great. We want to fire. No. We hired a rookie. This is coming with 3 years of bullshit. Yeah, true. Just what it is. Same way I'm willing to give my players 3 years. I'm really in the same category with the coaches. It's like, all right, well, let's give these guys time to figure out how to be a head coach, how to be an offensive coordinator. So I think a lot of that applies on both ends, and it's kind of muddy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I always said, we're not going to know about the draft class till 3 years down the road. I just think we're so quick to get rid of this guy, fire this guy, is because for an organization, especially a New York organization, and I get it, salary cap, floor to ceiling, we've had too many losing seasons that any little mistake, we're ready to ship these people out without saying, all right, let's relax. Let's take off the rose-colored glasses and give these guys a chance to develop and perform. We want results yesterday. And that's because we've been a losing organization for so
Oh,
long.
we've been
impatient,
punished for so long. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's cool about that too is like, because like you just nailed it, man. Like I totally get it. Like we've had so many losing seasons, it's hard to be patient.
Yep.
But the thing is, we have an organization led by Joe Douglas who doesn't give a shit. He's not pressured by them, so he can still be patient because he's not on the hot seat like people seem to think. Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, they are not on the hot seat. They're going to be given
not in year
5
2,
years.
No,
Ain't happening. So they know that, and so they can be patient, and they understand that we're going to have there rough periods, and they're going to do the right thing. Like Mike McCagnon, Todd Bowles, like they were pressured by that, so they made moves that were stupid because, like signing Le'Veon Bell, everything else. But it's I think that I see that's the thing. Like I'm a Jets fan, man. I've been here the whole time, so I get it, and I understand my brethren. I understand the feelings and the take. But from my standpoint, I'm glad to have guys who aren't pressured by us and can be patient and build things the right way and tear this motherfucker down.
Yeah.
That's what it needed. We needed that.
Yeah, no,
and nobody would do it, so I'm happy actually.
Green, you're not talking to 10-year Jet fans. Kevin's been a Jet fan for 48 years. I've been a Jet fan since I'm 46 years. We've seen, I remember
50,
one time.
Whoa, 52 years.
Yeah, I remember one time, Greenbean, on this show, I said, there is some sort of black cloud. I don't understand. And everyone who was a Jet fan in the last 10 years who were in their 14 to 20 ripped me. What are you talking about, black cloud? Believe me, I know I'm speaking negative on my team, but I do love them. There is this little black cloud sometimes that seems to follow this team. But I like what you said. We tore it down. They're building it from scratch, brick by brick, but we got to give these young kids a chance to develop and not ship them out as soon as they become good or they make one bad mistake.
It seems like every time we hit a diamond in the rough or something, we get rid of them.
Yeah. We want to trade them. Let's get a first-round pick. Let's get a third-round
pick.
Fucking
stupid.
And then we bring him in, and he doesn't come out of the box as an all-pro, and we're like,
you're right.
No, you're right. So Greenbean, let me hit you.
Get out of here. But go on. I was just gonna say, like that black cloud. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go. Say what you were gonna say. You're our guest. Speak. Go for it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yes, I believe in the black cloud. It's called the Jets curse, and it's real.
Yeah, exactly. And I got reamed for saying it, but again, at 52, I've watched this team since I was 6. I've always said this, Greenbean, and I don't know in your neck of the woods, but in the East Coast, where New York, New Jersey, you can't find a 14-year-old kid who's a Jet fan unless mom, dad, aunts, uncles, or grandparents.
Well, yeah, because all they know is misery.
Exactly. Like my son looks at me and says, Dad, I'm a Jet fan, but how do you do this every Sunday? We need to be patient, and I'm going off on a tangent here. I just want to throw in one more player to tie up the triumvirate because I know you're pressed for time. It all hinders on our beefy new quarterback, Zach. Give us your take on young Zach.
I love him, man. I mean, like, here's the thing. I wasn't a big Zach Wilson guy in the draft. I wasn't, and I got called a hater every day for the whole pre-draft period. I was just saying, like, I like Justin Fields just as much. I also like the idea of trading back and grabbing Mac Jones or even Davis Mills or some of these other guys. Like, so I liked Zach Wilson plenty. But I wasn't such a Zach Wilson homer that I was like at all costs. And I was surprised that so many Jets fans saw my constructive attitude as hate. So, but they did. So that all I'm not
sold on the kid yet.
Right. So, here's the thing. So like watching him for a year, the Jets tried, and we know this now, and we didn't know it a year ago, but we had this feeling that the Jets were overloading him. So the Jets decided to just give him the entire playbook. They didn't work him in with a nice simplistic, chunks of the offense. They threw the whole book at him. They said, we're going to use this rookie year. We're going to fucking bang him over the head with everything that we got. And we saw the results in the early part of the season. Because don't forget, in the beginning, we also had one of the worst offensive lines in the world. We had guys dropping passes, all the shit. But the truth is that Zach Wilson, that last chunk of the year, threw one pick in 7 games, I think it was. Won 6 or 7 games. And he had 5 games without a pick. So I have to say, like, and that was without all of his talent.
I was going to say, and that was with some backups playing too. Yeah.
We lost him. Hopefully we get him back.
Hello.
I was agreeing with everything he says. I do have a different spin on it. I'd love to hear what he has to say. Hopefully he'll unfreeze and we'll get him back. But
it is 9:30. I think he had to go. So
yeah, that's true too. But as far as the Zach Wilson, that he did come on in those last 4 weeks, so I'm hoping that's the curve of what's to come. But as Jet fans, we said the same thing when Sam Darnold came on in those last.
Well, I was gonna tell him.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell him that everybody was so enamored by these. Oh, there he is.
Oh yeah, you're back.
Hey.
Oh.
Dude, I'll tell you, man, every time I pull into this fucking gas station, the same thing happens. Xfinity turns on my internet. It's a weird thing. So I had to go in and manually turn it off. So I'm sorry about that.
No, don't worry. No worries. Hey, listen, technical difficulties happen. There's nothing we can do. Just we lost you somewhere. So restart your thought with Zach. You were saying the last 4 weeks didn't throw, only 1 interception. Pick it up from there.
So I think that, like, if we look at that end of the season, right? We know that he weathered a very difficult storm, being booed in his home stadium. All the, just all the negative press. We never heard a peep from this guy. We never heard anything about our team fracturing. We never heard anything negative about him making excuses. Never. So he weathered that. And from my perspective, as I just told you, I'm not even a Zach Wilson fan, per se, but I watch him and I go, you know what? I think the way that he handled a very tough year was perfect. I thought he handled it well. And again, he responded. He looked calm. He looked collected. We saw a lot of his, some of his leg attributes, running in touchdowns and all that kind of shit. And I think that he's primed for a good, a step up year 2. Now, a lot of people like to say he should have a Josh Allen leap in year 2. Well, I want to tell you guys, Josh Allen didn't have that leap until year 3. Now, year 2 was better than year 1, but incrementally. Year 3 is when he had that 37 touchdown season. So we got to make sure that we're not comparing Zach and what he should, what we should see from him this year by unrealistic expectations. So, like in my thought, I think Zach should throw for 3,800 yards. He should have, I would love to see 30, but I'm thinking like 26 touchdowns and 10 picks. Like, that's what I'm looking for from Zach Wilson.
You'll melt the God's ears, man.
You know what I mean? But that would be such a beautiful jump. And anywhere in that, in that rate, if he throws 22 touchdowns, 24 touchdowns, and half as many picks, right? So if he does that, that is a legitimate step up. I just want to watch him develop, man. Like, we used a number 2 pick on the guy. We all knew. And one of the reasons I didn't like him so much was because I saw that in college, he never had pressure, never. And whenever he had pressure in college, he was a different quarterback. So I told all the fans, everybody, I said, guys, this guy, if we can't protect him, we're going to see an erratic fucking guy that he's going to take time. We need to know that this kid might have everything we want, the arm, the legs, the mindset, but it's going to take him time. So him taking time, I don't see as a problem. So I think in summation, I'm going to say I have a lot of confidence. Just like you said, Kevin, I'm not sold, but I have a lot of confidence that, that the Jets are going to, they're building him correctly. I think he handled it well. And that this year we're going to see a nice jump with Zach Wilson.
Okay, so
I hope so.
So I've always, and I know, again, I would, if you want to come back on another time, my take is I like Zach. I shouldn't say this. I was like you, Green. I didn't like him, but he won me over. I became the Zach supporter.
Right.
The thing is, and maybe I'm wrong for saying this because you can't compare. I think Joe Burrow, what he did in year 2, set the bar so high for all second-year quarterbacks that I don't know what Jet fans think. That if Zach wins 8 games, but we're in every one, was this a good year? Or do Jet fans say, no, we needed to win 10, make the playoffs. This year stunk. We need a new quarterback. I don't know where we're heading with Zach. Like, what is the progression? Like, what would you, from 4 wins last year to what is the growth progression in your mind? 8 wins?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, and I'm going to tell you, like, no matter what happens, a large swath of Jet Nation is going to be pissed about it. You know that. I mean, we're a grumbly bunch.
Yeah.
You're telling me, man.
I'm
Preaching
telling
to
you.
the choir here. I want the freaking playoffs this year.
Yeah, really? Well, look, I want that too. But let me tell you, I also want I want to win some lottery tickets. I want to do all kinds of shit. So this is what I think. I think our floor is, I'm going to say 7. I think 7 wins. Anything below 7 is not a success. So 7
That's
to 9.
disappointing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 to 9 is real. Now, not 7 wins and fucking 6 blowouts.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I want, you know? So if we look like a competitive team, if we look like we're in the game, but we're young, we don't know how to close it out, we're losing by 1 score.
Yeah.
That's all positive for me.
I agree.
I'd like to see, like, my best case, I think, would be like a 9 win and a squeak into the 7th spot in the playoffs.
Number 6, yeah, me too. That's
you know what I mean?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I would love that.
In that regard, we're all in the same class. Like on our show, Green Bean, I had them going at the high 10 and 7. I was willing to live with 7 or 8 wins if we're competitive in every game. We have a shot coming down the wire. Like you said, I don't want to be blown out in 6 of those games. I want to be a force where teams walk out of there going, shit, that was a lot tougher than I thought. This team is going someplace.
Like I've said a million times on the show, can I sit here on Thanksgiving and enjoy my fucking dinner knowing that we got a shot going into December?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's a good way to say it. And look, the NFL did us no favors, right? They didn't squeeze in the Jaguars, the Lions, the fucking Bears. They didn't give us any of that in the first half of the season. So they definitely didn't make it easy for us. But that said, we should still be able to enjoy football in November. We shouldn't be talking about the damn draft in November and early December.
That's
so if we can do that, I just want to have a fun, competitive season. I want my team to be competitive. I want to look like the team that in 2023, people are going, no, this team's on the rise. Like after this coming season, I want half of the NFL to realize the Jets are different. That's what I want.
Right.
Agree.
Right.
We've always said that exactly. We want to be the team that the football shows are talking about. We want to be the organization.
And for good reasons, for once, not for bad.
Right. That's what I meant. Like, I want to be the team where they say, oh, like the Ravens, the Pats, this team's making the playoffs. This team built something here. They're moving in the right direction. Anyway, on that note, I know you're pressed for time. You have to go. Thank you again. This was great. Anytime you want to come on, let us know. Hit us up. You're part of the family now, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It was great.
Yeah, I will, man. You see, this is fun. And, I'm sorry. I got to jump out of the show right now. As you can see, I'm standing in the rain a little bit, but I got so I apologize about that, but I had a good time, man. I could talk to guys like you all day. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I appreciate you having me on. And let me just say this, anytime I can stare at a Freeman McNeil jersey for as long as I did this morning, it's a good day. It's a good day. That's my guy.
Listen, and it's signed.
There you go. I love Freeman McNeil. Freeman McNeil, like Gastineau was the guy that really got me to be like a diehard Jets fan, but his counterpart on the offense for me was Freeman. I love Freeman McNeil, could do no wrong in my eyes, man. I love that guy. That's great.
Years back, I was on the website, on the Jets website, and they had this contest going where you could win a day with Freeman in a luxury box. Well, don't you know, I put my name in and I won. So that's how I got the jersey.
Oh, no way.
Yes. I got a signed football back here somewhere up there.
Oh, dude. That's a great story.
I sat at a table with Randy Beverly and all them guys. They all signed the football, Super Bowl III, the whole bit. So it was a great day.
That's
was really cool.
congrats, man. That's fantastic. I'm really
Yeah.
I gotta bend your ear on that one some more
Yeah.
one day.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it was a fun day.
All right,
right,
guys. Well,
Green Bean.
listen, thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Yeah.
And you guys have a great day.
All right.
You too. Talk to you later. Thanks for coming on.
That was cool.
That was fun.
Cool getting
Yeah,
his
that was
take.
fun.
That was definitely cool getting his take. I had a bunch of other topics, so hopefully we'll invite him on down the road and we'll talk some more. But that was nice of him to pop on for us. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
let's end it on that note. We had a good talk with
Yeah.
him. It was excellent and great day. Great day.
Like it. It's a good show.
Yep. All right,
And
my
man,
brother.
can you believe we're like 3 weeks with like 2.5, 3 weeks away?
Yeah. July 18th, right?
I'm getting all crazy here.
Woohoo! Yep. Yep. Hopefully next week we'll have our roundtable discussion. So it's heating up. It'll be fun. All right, my brother. That was cool. Thank you for that.
Very good. Thanks, Green Bean, for coming on.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. Great show. All right. And I'll talk to you later, brother.
Yes.
You have a great day. You all have a great day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay? And we'll talk to you next week. And shut up. Talk to you later.